Mamba, 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 Mamba. January 26, 2021, a year since you have gone into essence, along with your darling, sweet daughter, Gigi, and 9 other people. We do trust and know that the highest light is with you all, and that you are watching over your families and loved ones, especially in this time. So I turn my attention to Kobe through divine light. Kobe, sup, Mamba? Miss you, boy. Miss you. What do you want to tell the world? What do you want to tell Vanesssa? Whomever you want, whatever you want to speak to right now, you can. So already very heavy. Kobe wishes that he could really, I'm just trying to put this into words without getting over emotional in this reading. So if I sound a little impersonal, it's just because I'm trying not to get emotional, or if I sound robotic or insensitive. So Cove is actually, he misses his family, but he's definitely there for them. I think obviously this is his energy though. If he could have changed things, he would have, in order to be with them longer, because just as, who was that? Tracy McGrady said that Kobe wanted to leave this earth early. He used to say that all the time. And I think if he really knew like his impact, he would have kind of energetically changed that timeline. So he didn't expect that. He sees Vanesssa. He's saying, "You're looking good, girl." That's what he's saying. "You're looking good, girl." I don't think if Vanesssa ever happens to watch this video, I don't think he's going to get too personal, but he's going to say, he's saying, "You're looking good. You're still dressing to the nines. Looking good, girl." And so you'll forgive me if that sounds like more like a friend than a husband. But I think he's going to keep some things personal. And I think you already know, he wants you to keep your head up, and he doesn't want you to mourn. And actually, he wants you to begin to start the process to opening yourself up to other people. He doesn't expect that to happen right away, but he wants it to start this year. He can't have you living in mourning forever. Surely you can miss him, but he cannot have you stopping your life, heart, and not being present in the world in your full essence, I guess he would say, as he knows you very well as a very powerful person. I think he wants you out there a lot more. He doesn't want the world to be looking at you in this way. And nothing's a bad thing. He's understanding that this is obviously very appropriate for the time. Pardon my words that I'm using, because they're not words that he would use, but they're words that I need to kind of use to stay robotic and not get emotional. So you'll forgive me if it sounds very impersonal what I'm saying, and just take that as a grain of salt. He's looking at his daughters and saying how beautifully they're growing, and just what nice girls they are. Natalia. She's just such a nice girl. He's so proud of her, and he really wants her to go bigger even. I don't know what she's working on. It could be something in science class or something having to do with some creation of something. And I don't know why it feels like kind of sciencey thing, kind of, but he wants her to go hard, go big on that. It feels like something that she's analyzing, like through a microscope or something like that. And He wants her to do it. I also hear something about fashion. Also, I just did another reading with Lori Harvey, and she was guided to travel and live in another city internationally, and I think Natalia is as well. Something, oh my God, that totally makes sense. I was going to say something in Rome, something in either Milan or Rome, and obviously, I mean, since Kobe ended up growing up there in Italy, that would be very nice. So to do that and spend some time there would be very nice. She's such a nice girl. Let's see what else he has to say. He's talking about his beautiful baby girl, Bianca, I believe. You'll forgive me if I don't have everybody's name correct. But Vanesssa, you're such an amazing mother. Thank you so much for raising my children, raising such beautiful children, and being able to do so in the midst of all of this. And he also says that Gigi is actually doing fine. Um, so Gigi is such a bright star, like just the way you can actually look at this young girl. She actually has the spirit of Gigi. And I have no idea why I cannot hold that straight. I feel like she's also, whatever she's doing, she's moving around a lot. You'll know what that's about. Like maybe you'll say, "Oh, she was always athletic." We know in the public that she was athletic, but there's something else about maybe she moves around a lot, or maybe her philosophy and her time here on Earth was that she did not like to sit still or something, um, or she just like to stay busy. But in any case, whatever the case is, she's moving around a lot. She's in a really good place. I mean, a really good place. Let me just hold this up just in case Vanessa or Natalia or anybody ever watches this video, just for you to know and exactly just absorb where Gigi is, what Gigi's doing. Like her spirit is free. There was so much heaviness on this earth. A soul like her, it things can be very harsh on the energies that go on, and her spirit is so free of these type of burdens. Like where she is in such a good place where it's not like there isn't racism to deal with and discrimination against women to deal with, and you know what I mean. I don't know how to explain that, but there aren't those energies to have going through your body. It's almost like, when you're driving down the street and everybody has Wi-Fi and your body is constantly getting hit by the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is a radiation level of radiation. And so it's kind of like the same thing, even though she may not have personally been discriminated against or anything like that. It's just even contending with those energies being around and present in the sphere. Um, is that, but I mean, Gigi is in a really good place. So Kobe, he really wants you to know that. He really wants you to absorb that in your soul. Having lost someone close myself, it's very hard to process that, even when people are coming back and telling you they're okay, even when they're smiling and all of those things. And um it's a process in the human body. It's a grateful thing to be able to see that people are so happy and they're doing so well, but it's very hard to process. He wants you to change your world in a lot of ways. um I think also too, maybe going away for a little while might be something really nice, going to a place that actually gives, emotionally gives. Like it's really beautiful. Lands are beautiful. It's sunny there. There's nothing causing any form of heaviness on your spirit. And I don't know if you painted or something or did some kind of hobby, but he says for you to begin to focus on uh, a personal a personal hobby or something like that. As well, and he wants it to be something outside of fashion as well, like not something that you do as sort of work or whatever. It's just something that actually feeds the spirit, that is free of it being a job or any type of serious pursuit. This is something to just give your body and spirit a little bit of leeway um, to be able to express itself and therefore give you strength. Um, he just feels like, your focus has been on children, which is really, really great. Um, but also, there is this need for balance. He wants you to come back to the world, come back to the world, come back to the world, come back to the world. This is what I hear, not in a negative way. Um, because this is the way I feel like he's just said this really quickly, actually. Because this is the way that you are going to be able to re-enliven. It's not that you aren't alive, but revitalize yourself under such stressful conditions as well. I think he also just is like, if you could get out of California for a while, it's great because of the scene of the actual incident. Um, there's so much energy there, and I personally believe that obviously you guys don't live too far away from where that happened. That he's saying that just change the wallpaper for a while. I think it'd be great. I don't know why I hear for you the south of France for 6 months, the south of France. And when you do go down there, yes, it would be great to be on a boat. Be great to have friends, but to really, I see you as doing something like really getting into some form of yoga, like being at a retreat that is on the Riviera that will respect who you are, where all you can hear is your own voice, and then you can be with your children. And I'm not sure if this is, I think he's saying it's possible for you to do this. So I won't try to figure out all the intricacies of how this would work with Natalia. But for you to go and to just be in a space, even with other women, and just wake up, be quiet, and have this surrounding space where you can actually just meditate, even if you're not a person who meditates, that I feel like you kind of are, um, or you're a really good meditator if you'd put, if you do it, to be able to center your mind in the morning and just hear yourself and just reconnect to yourself, because obviously you've been taken away with the incident, you've been taken away with the children as well, and trying to create this world and extra nurturing for them, which is natural for you to do. But he's saying like they are fine, and you can't sustain yourself this way. So you've got to refill your well so that way you can sustain an environment for the children that is ongoing. So he wants you to do this. He's saying something about what about our favorite place? There's a favorite place somewhere. I guess it's somewhere overseas. So this could also be like if it is in Capri or something like that, or some Corsica, some kind of island maybe. But I think, yeah, it would be great for you to um, to do that as well. I think he's saying it's also safe for you to the people that you hired. I don't know what has happened over at Mamba Mambasita, but I feel like he's saying, like, you can leave the operations to them a little bit more and step back for a little bit. You're fine in doing that. Everything's gonna be fine. He's watching over. Actually, he's very present there. He's very, very present there, Vanessa. So he's saying, don't worry. And for whatever reason, like the people there, they have a little bit of intuitive guidance from him. So don't worry. I feel like also he's beginning. Oh, I even said he's. I meant to say they, but I say he. So it's like he's kind of orchestrating in the background, like he wants this to forever be, I don't want to call it a fixture, but he definitely is saying, like, don't worry, this is going to be something that is around forever. And that the people who are running this, he's bringing some kind of new endeavor in. I don't know if they're going to be working with some younger girls, like in the spirit of Gigi, but they also are bringing in some kind of, I don't know if it's kind of documentary or something, but they're also bringing in, or maybe this is also his writing company as well. But there's also I apologize, I lost my train of thought. I like lost it for a second, the stream that I had, but he's there are good arrangements, and this is because of the energetic work that he's actually doing. He is very, very present there. So he is saying for you to, he was like, I got this, babe. Go ahead, just do you. Please go rest. Um, take care of you personally. You personally. Now I understand obviously you have a very young daughter, but he's saying like, yes, I hear like south of France, a good place to go, a trusted nanny. And although I don't think you ever really, I think I read somewhere you don't work with care people, childcare. But at this point in time, he's saying, you know, a really trusted nanny. And there's somebody really good out there. I think it's an older woman, older white woman, probably French, and the Bianca, I think it's Bianca. Bianca could learn either Italian or French during the day with this woman, and while you go and take care of this, is something that needs to happen between the length of 6 months and a year. I'm not sure if you can do a whole year, but I mean, if you could do a whole year in the south of France, being in this arrangement where you're just waking up and giving to self, realigning with self, meditating with self. This is excellent. And having that community structure there that's not exactly fully in the know of you, but they're more of women from families and women from professions and interesting women who are also looking to transition and refill their well as well. This would be something great. And when I said transition, I meant a lot of women at the retreats are in some form of a transition within their lives, whether it's from a new profession to another one, leaving a marriage or something. But usually it's a positive environment, not like a bitch session. You know what I mean? Bitching session, let me put it like that. All right, so let me actually, I'm guided to get the angel answers cards here. Let's see what Kobe want to say here. Come on, Mamba. Opportunity. Again, I really feel like he is encouraging you to go forward. Live your life. He's bestowing you with so many blessings. He is there. He cannot take like you living in the way that you are living now. Living in grief is a problem for him. Um, and I feel like in some ways he feels like it gets worse. And he wants you to really remember what's with you and what's alive with you, and that he is there looking over you at all times, and he's opening up stuff for you. He's got full faith in you, you know, full faith in you. And he prays for you and protects the household all the time. So he is there. He just doesn't want you to hold on to, I don't want to say hold on, but he feels like you're stuck in this situation, which is completely understandable. Completely understandable. It is just a year. And I will say, as anyone who knows who has lost someone else, it's almost like the year is almost worse in a way than when it happened. The year, it feels like an assault on the senses because it is so, it's impersonal, and time just moves on with this vicious type of impersonal indifference to what has happened. And it's just like this assault on your emotions and senses, and your respect for the person who is no longer here. So it's a lot, but he wants you, he says the best way he believes you can heal, and how he can reach you even better is when you are in your element. So he really wants you to, why do I hear like some kind of cooking school? I don't know. I also feel like I hear you laughing profusely as I say that. Like, um, there's something with you learning a new skill, starting all over. Don't be afraid to start all over. Don't be afraid to go back into school. Don't be afraid to um, look into something else new. Let's see what else is. And here's the meditation brings answers. So I really do feel like, and the more you meditate, the more you will be connecting a lot easier to him directly, because he is there for you. There's a yes card here. So number one, whatever you are asking a question to is yes. Also, this is yes, that there's confirmation that he was always there and is always there. No need to worry, he's saying. Like, he really wants you to work very hard to remove this sense of worry, because this is how he wants your energy to be. Let's see. He wants you to go from this to this, like, and this is really what he's trying to illustrate, from this to this. And he's saying, like, he wants you to have a primary focus on really incorporating in life the things that do excite you and bring you life and bring you energy to refill your well, so you also have energy for your daughters as well and your family. There's a lot you've been dealing with. There's a lot of, obviously, that happened in the press, and you know, there's a lot going on. So I'm not sure what he means about this within the next few months, but maybe you know what that means. I'll see if I can get clarification. What do you mean by this? Mamba. What you mean by this, bruh? I think a few things. Okay. So one, ugh, you know what? I don't think he really wanted to talk about this, but this current court case that you're going through here with the justice card, he's saying for you to retreat from that as well, to try not to allow that to drain you as well. And I think he's also saying, like, if the easy way out is, let me see, yeah, if the easy way out is to just settle, go on ahead. It's not worth it. Like, babe, we have enough money. You've got enough. All I wanted is for the girls to be okay. So it's worth it more. And I won't lie to you, some of this is my own consciousness in communication with him, using like my thoughts and assessments on this as well. So I will say I'm a little bit slightly involved in here, but he is saying Like, what he's generally saying is don't let this case stress you out. What I'm saying as well, on top of him and what he agrees in our joint communication, is for you to, you know what, go ahead and settle out of court if you need to. Just go ahead and buy a house and buy a car, and in exchange for that, there's a stipulation where you will not be approached for anything else. Buy, you know what else too? Get a property that's income producing, like something that can be Airbnb'd out so that there's income coming into the general property. So there's a main house, and then there's a property like on the same, there's another house that can be rented out in Airbnb. And so that way there's also, it's kind of like I've set you up. I don't want to get too much in your personal business, but I've set you up so that there's monthly income. You cannot also too, I don't know how complicated you want to get into this, but you may want to consider with your attorney whether or not you allow, if you do buy this house, whether or not you allow certain things to be sold, or if you want to put a binding on it being sold. But get the house, get the car, give a $20,000 stipend for the first 2 years, $10,000 worth of food for year one, and another 10,000 for year two, and let that show as being enough to, whatever you want to do. Because I don't know you, of course. I don't know your situation, and I don't want to calculate for anybody else or treat anybody else impersonally in my little calculations over here. But that's my thing. What he's saying is it's not worth it. Just go ahead and just cut loose from this because it's draining you. Um, and that's it. And it's like, he's kind of saying like, she's family. Things are not perfect, but he feels like the fact that you are fighting with this is a greater cost to you. And I think that Natalia has already spoken to you about that in her own quiet way as well. It's okay to just go ahead and settle, just to cut this out of your hair and to get rid of the publicity. I think some of it does hurt because some of it, it's almost like maybe you're like answering us through the cards, but some of it is also like she doesn't deserve. But 6 months down the line, if there's a lawyer who is fighting on what do they call that? Do they call it a contingency? If there's a lawyer who keeps doing that annoying court factor, knowing that, because they do that, I forget what it's called, the annoyance factor or something like that. They just take you to court because they just want to push you to a place where you get so tired emotionally of the court battles that you actually settle with them. And then by then, you've already spent 4 times the amount of what a house would have been just to settle and let this person go. And as a very smart attorney, um, and I'm not going to relate this to your family and saying this, but I am going to say this in general, and you can take it or leave it if it applies and if it doesn't. When it comes to people who are parasitic, I'm not saying that that's what the situation is, because I don't know you guys, but just based on what I've seen you say, I'm just going to put this on a table without judgment of the other party involved. With people who are parasitic taking you to court for money, a smart lawyer said to me, it's better for you, he says, sometimes to pay bad people good money to go away. And I think that this will really help lift your spirit. It doesn't even have to be a big home. You get the stipulation in place. This is what it is. There's no negotiation over this. You get $20,000. That's to cover your food for the next 2 years. You get this property here that you cannot sell, with an income producing property. So you have income coming in through Airbnb, and you get a car, and that's it. And you're not allowed to sue me. in exchange for all this, you're not allowed to sue me. You're not allowed, even give whatever, even just give $50,000 because they'll try to probably come back and negotiate for 100,000 or 300,000 or even more. But that's what it is. Just make it simple and plain, and really wondering what you're willing to fight for emotionally, as court is very draining, and so are attorneys over a period of time. And the courts are just, they're not that great at really, to me, finding justice. For me, the court system is used for parasites in a lot of ways, and in very situations like this, people are often hoping that you will settle, but sometimes the settling is worth it to cut free and cut loose of the drain, because this is really draining your life force, vital energy, let me put it like that. So he's saying that. He's not saying anything about the situation. He's just simply talking about it within context to your well-being. He is not saying anything negative. All right, so what else? I think that within the next couple of months card was him saying, like, you should wrap this up in the next couple of months. Like, don't let this go past April. If things are not going in your favor past April, settle and move on. And I think he's saying here as well that settling is the best thing, because wow, it's only 30 minutes. It really feels like I really swore I was like going on an hour. So it feels like what he's saying here, it's not the right time right now to contest over this money. It's really not. It's really not a big deal to just set up a house and a home. Doesn't have to be an expensive one, and just set up a stipulation, and that's it. You know, this is it. You can't sue me anymore. You can't come back for anything anymore, and it's finished. And she would have to sign that in order to get what you're offering. And just that, whatever, $500,000 to $1 million, you know, to be honest, well, I won't even go and, whatever it is, even if it's $2 million, it's worth getting rid of. Although I feel like there's a little bit of pushback on 2 million. I think, 1 million, doing the whole thing for 1 million, getting the land and all that is what it is. So he's saying it's not the right time, and it's not the right time for the household. It's too much stress. It's too much stress. And people don't want to see you having stress over money. So he's just like, go ahead and settle. Don't let this go past April of 2021, Vanesssa. Okay. You know what to do. You said what you said. And I feel like he's saying, like, God knows you're right. You did or are doing the best you can. Again, card reading 101 would tell you that Kobe's saying he is always with you and he's got you. And there's a lot more money where this came from. So he knows psychologically that you are dealing with this level of feeling like this person doesn't deserve it, but trust, I will tell you personally, 6, 7, 8 months down the line, after you've been fighting this all, you would look back to this moment and been like, you know what? I could have been having my life out of this negative vibration and in a higher vibration by just having settled and move on. Just cut it and move on. I think actually Wendy Williams also suggests typically like the kind of same things, although I don't subscribe to Wendy Williams, but I do remember hearing her say that a few times over some years. So just settle, get it out of your life, move on, even if you don't feel like, oh my God, this person doesn't deserve it. You got to think about the cost of what it's going to emotionally take a toll on you, your family, and the household down the line for this entire year. Yeah. So Colby is also saying, hello to your friends, and just, I don't know if you had some kind of crazy get together or something like that, but he's loving it. Something you guys did, I think actually he's referring to something that I actually saw where you guys were out on a boat with not Paulo, sorry, Pal. Jeez. And he's saying definitely he was totally there with you. You're just so beautiful, girl. He's saying, you are my, he's getting frisky now. Not frisky, but just to be sending messages through me, Cole. He was like, you are my wife, girl. You are my wife. Beautiful thing, you. Um, so yeah, but he also loves how you manage, he notices, and girl, does he wish he could run down here and rush down to you when you get all dressed up? Like the way you manage to get yourself dressed up and looking really good in the midst of all of this, he just wants to, he remembers his days in the flesh very well, girl. Oh my God, very well. All right, Cope, this is too frisky now. But he sends you so much love. I think he definitely wants Natalia to get out a lot more. He wants her to be very much so in her power and to know that she can trust her path on this earth. And because of what went on with them was more so something of divine providence than it was something fate. I don't know if you ever will understand that. I feel awkward talking about something like that, but he really wants you to go free, let loose just a tad bit, Natalia, in a good way, meaning just get out there and release this burden, release the burden and the pain of your family. It's not nothing, none of this is any of your fault. You didn't do anything. There's nothing, oh, you could have, would have, should have done better. None of that is your fault. In fact, you've always been a very good person and reached out. I think he alludes to you getting distracted easily because of the sensitive, beautiful person you are, but to really honor that sensitivity. And to know as well, he does send you signs. I'm not sure you actually believe all of that, but he'd like you to, Natalia, he'd like you to channel your energy a lot more precisely so that you can receive the messages and believe them and not be overwhelmed. Because he does come to you, and so does Gigi. Not as much. I had forgotten to say earlier that Gigi is soon she'll be able to communicate with the family a lot more. I don't know why. It has something to do with her realignment in the higher realms. And so, but she plans on communicating with you all a lot more. She was previously not able to do as much, but she's definitely going to do that. So, any last messages, Cobster? Mamba. Mamba, what you got to say? All right, I don't know why the devil card comes here. Oh, all right. I feel like he's kind of saying a whole bunch of things like along the lines like there's no tainting on my reputation and stuff like that. Don't stress. And I think he's not saying this in a conceited way, but his achievements will outlast any kind of negative whatever that's trying to come out on his name or whatever. But there was something else he was saying. Again, stressing that you get out there in the world a lot more. Gigi watches over the business that you do. She's also very proud of Mamba, Mambasita as well. And really encourages you to do another business. I feel like there's something you want to do, like in downtown LA, some kind of shows or something like that. I don't know specifically what it is, but this is something you can plan, while you're overseas in the south of France, and rejuvenating, replenishing, doing all those things. So yes, you can do this. I don't know, some kind of theater show or something. It might be something a little bit unconventional too, actually. It might be something just a tad bit unconventional, I mean, a little more artistic and a little more avant-garde, let's say. I think he always felt that there's a lot more that you um, could do if you wanted to. Not, he's not saying you were like lazy or anything like that, but just like you could be out there more, doing a lot more. I think he'd like to see you do that as well. There's something with this situation that you are dealing with that he's saying, don't worry about the karma. Don't worry about, this is all going to be, it's all going to be taken care of. He doesn't really want to be like negative or anything. So, you've won. He's saying you've won, and it's okay. It's okay to just go ahead and kind of just settle this issue so you can move on and release the energy, because it's too much. He's saying it's too much. And then also, I think what lastly, he's saying that we also have children, still very small children, and they really, need you. He says us. They really need us. So, he wants to see the house a little bit more like that. And not that it isn't, but, minus all these things. So let's see. Lastly, call this card again. This is how he wants to see you guys in your best, winning, knowing you're from a winning family, knowing you're from a winning lineage and a part of a winning lineage. And then you don't have to keep anything that is otherwise in your life. And he looks at this situation. Oh my gosh, I can't believe, like, really, Kobe. He looks at this situation kind of like, you'll pardon me, he wants me to say this. Uh, he knows that it's not necessarily this way, but let's just say, about adversity. You know what we do. It's like he's saying, what we do when there's loss. You know what we do. You know how we do, Vanesssa. He's a very, very unbridled talker. It makes me feel uncomfortable to say that because I don't necessarily know you, or if you'll ever see this video. So this is what he's saying. You know how we do. We don't let these things get us down. We accept the situation. It's not to say accept like, but we see the situation as what it is, and we dig in and we claim championship. We get back in the gym, because you was shooting in the gym. You were shooting in the gym, Vanesssa. You were Kobe's everything and his support system and the mother of his children. And he is so proud and so grateful to know you. And he's still with you all the time. And he's just looking for you to get back to your regular self. All right. Which is this. There's a businesswoman in you wanting to run something, and you can do it. It doesn't have to do with Mamba, though. This is all about you. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to let that go. Much blessings to you. Thank you so much, Cope. I'm glad you are well. You just see something real quick. Like, what are you up to? We didn't even talk about you. Like, they probably want to know about you. He's like, oh, I'm all right. I'm all right. He's saying, I'm all right. Don't worry about me. I'm worried about, I'm trying to take care of them. Like, yeah, he's very much so around you guys. he's just trying to make sure energetically that he's still continuing to build upon what he built, legacy wise, financially wise for the family, and making sure that the energy around you all is very good. But again, he's saying don't wait too long on this court case. If it's not done, even if it's not done by March into April, settle, 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 settle. So that's just like a couple more weeks. 'Cause you're too good for this. You're too sensitive and wonderful for this, and also the family is as well. The girls, no. And he's also saying, like, you can't function like this forever. Now, notice this girl. This card cracks me up, though. How this girl is like, she's like, anyway, let me check my phone. He's like, you can't function like this. You have to go take care of yourself. So please go ahead and begin to research. I don't know what kind of yoga retreats, long term ones that you can actually be with, be in, and begin to go from there. And he just wants you to get out of LA. Is so restricting right now. I think you guys live too close to where the incident actually happened. It makes it very hard for you to be able to heal in that way. You need to be someplace new just to heal, and then you can come back, because he sees you starting like something really good downtown LA. I feel like you definitely are wanting to start some kind of business. All right. So thank you so much. Blessings. Thank you so much, Kobe. He doesn't want to tell us. He's like, I'm good. I'm in the stars. I'm chilling. I'm always there. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. It's like I'm always gonna be good. It's just who I am and destined. Like I'm always gonna be good. Kobe, shut up. Bye, Mamba. I love you. Crazy. All right, Vanessa, guys. See you later. Bye. Blessings.